Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And if you've been following the last few videos that I've done, you may actually know what direction this is going to go in. I'm going to see if I can't kind of simplify it in case you were a beginner and you were trying to make a pattern. Maybe you'll be able to pick up on like how this goes. So I'm going to start with the purple. So mathematically, we did a 32 string, and then we did a 24 string, which, okay, so the 32 had 8 colors, the 24 had 6 colors, and now we're at 20, which would be 5 colors. So, yeah. So I put in my underlying strings. I just know that that's the diamond that's going to start it. We're going to go with red coming after. That, so that's going to come in like this. Now I don't know if the red came in before or after. We'll figure that kind of out in a bit. It'll kind of make sense when we get to the other side over here. So the next color would be orange. Basically, I started out with the rainbow and went with all the colors except for blue. If I was going to have to do 5 colors, I figured blue is really close to our starting color that we do for the template. And in case you're wondering, why is it that kind of weird blue is what was used for the template? It goes back to my days of playing with drafting. I took drafting in junior high and high school. Apparently this one color can be put onto like a Xerox machine, like a copier, and it doesn't show up. And so a lot of the bigger companies out there would have templates and things out of this color, and it's just kind of a tribute, I guess, to it. Yeah, there's no other particular reason. I just think that's kind of neat. All right. So the yellow here, this comes all the way out and back and up here. 1, 2, 3. This will be here and here, I guess. So this is coming out here. So this yellow will do the same over on this side. So like that. So now we know where the yellow one goes. And the last one would be green. There's our little diamond. So this is going to be quite a bit different. As far as like on the edges, normally you have more of a bump out to it, but not here. Now, I am filling this in with the colors of the rainbow. But I can tell you right now, I have absolutely zero intentions of making this in these colors. In fact, I already know what I want to do, and that is I want to do a fade. And in fact, oddly enough, the fade is in blue. So I've already cut the strings for it. I'm already assuming that this just works out the way it's supposed to, despite the fact that the way these diamonds down the middle go, like that's a little bit of a surprise to me. But yeah, I've already got the blue string cut up for it and everything. And yeah, so why go to the trouble of making this a rainbow as opposed to making it a fade in the actual colors that I'll use? Well, that comes down to the fact that it's really easy when you're looking at your 5 strings in your hand. You can see which order they're in, 1 through 5, right? But when you try to put that onto the computer like this, and you try to make out your design, it suddenly becomes a whole lot more difficult to see which is the third one, which is the second one, right? So as a result, it's just so much easier if you just go ahead and you have it in an easy to manipulate thing like this, right? So like I'm going to be able to say that the first color is purple, second one's red, third one's orange, and then be able to translate that into the actual bracelet design that I'm going to be trying to make. So it just makes everything easier. Oh, so down here in the middle, always in the middle here, there's 2 strings, whichever colors, they collide with each other, right? So down the center here, you have, it's always like yellow, or in this case, like the reds are going to join in this one. So the colors always match up down the center of this, but they also match up down the center of this, as well as they match up down the center of the zigzag one. It's a really strange phenomenon. I've only just kind of really started looking into it in these last couple bracelets that we made, and it's fascinating to me. I did not expect for it to work that way, but it does. So there is a chance that if you were working with strings, oops, back up a couple here, that are running short, there is a chance that you could that you could trade off when it gets to those spaces. So the purple comes in. Now mind you, I've been cutting these videos short when it comes to making the pattern, because when it comes to filling these in, because it's single stranded and the fact that it's asymmetrical, I can't just copy and paste. I have literally been putting in hours of work to make these patterns available over on my website, akaAWOL.com. Yes, it's a little bit intuitive and it kind of flows along and it's not so bad, but it is very time consuming. And just so you know, like it just really is, it's a project. Mind you, for me, mostly, I kind of only need to see how it begins and how it ends, right? But in order to do that, you kind of have to make out the pattern. I could probably trade out the how it ends by just coming to like a diamond point and at any given spot wherever I feel it's long enough. But kind of having it kind of pre-planned out sort of has its own merit. And boom, here you hit the edge there. So I don't know, I just like having my bracelets all figured out and everything. So there we go. But you can see now we have the zigzags starting over onto the side. The next color would be red. We could actually just follow this one down to see where it gets to the edge down here. So while I'm filling this in, let's just thank our YouTube members who make all of this stuff possible. Honestly, I don't make that much from YouTube, in general. And it's these guys that actually help make sure that I have string to do all this stuff. So thank you guys so much for that. I really, honestly, I can't thank you guys enough. It's a sort of job where you really have to want to be a part of the community, making patterns, showing people what can be done, because quite honestly, a lot of people probably don't even know that I have the website. I've been sharing things over on Reddit, and occasionally people are like, I never heard of that. What is that? It's kind of funny. I probably don't have the right kind of name that makes it easy for everybody just to go look it up. But it's been my nickname for a very long time, and it just sort of made sense. I've had the same web page since 2000. Maybe 1999. I don't know. There was right around that era. I had gotten my own web page, so it was very different in the early days. It wasn't about the bracelets. It was about my favorite links to stuff. So there we go. You see how it starts. You can kind of see how it goes now. We know that the next color down would be the orange. So I can just kind of follow that path. And it's just, that string is just going to follow this line all the way down. And it will just continue this kind of progression all the way through the rest of the bracelets. I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of this in. I will be back tomorrow with the bracelet. These bracelets have been taking a very long time, by the way, and it's especially hard with the ADHD, where part of my brain seems to be like, oh, it's just the same as before, and it's not exciting, and it's just makes it so much harder to do. But I kind of want to have the examples over on my website, so there's no other way to get the example other than just to do the work. So I'm going to do the work. All right. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.